your writing skills. Alright? Having been able to read, understand, and to speak, are you able to write? Okay. So in this unit, you'll be exposed to the strategies for developing effective writing skills. As a writer, you must first of all be definite about the goal of your writing assignment and the type of writing you want to embark on. You don't just wake up one day and start writing something. You should be able to know, what do I want to write? Who is my audience? What is the purpose of this writing? And then what are the techniques I should use to convey my message? So writing takes a lot of processes. Okay, we have writing steps. Having said what writing is, okay, writing, what is writing? Okay, writing is a medium of human communication that involves the representation of a language with readable signs that is letters of alphabet, punctuation, and spaces. Okay, being able to put down in writing letters someone can read and understand. What are the writing skills? The first one is planning. Planning is vital to writing a project. If you've written a project or a proposal before, you will know that you first of all have to plan. What do I want to write? To whom do I want to address this to? So planning is the first thing you have to embark on when you are planning to write something. The next one is preparing a dominant thesis. A dominant thesis or thesis statement is the sentence that summarizes the content of your writing. This is a very crucial statement around which all other sentences in the text revolve. The thesis statement sums up the central idea or theme of your message. So this thesis or preparing a dominant thesis, this is like the summary of everything this writing has to comprise of. This is what it is in a box. You now start breaking it down in your writing. Preparing an outline. An outline is a statement of points that are relevant to the topic. It must be prepared before your actual writing is done. You have to bring out your outline. Outline number one, this. Outline number two, this. It guides you to be able to know the stages your writing takes. Some rules of preparing outlines include logical arrangement of main topics and subtopics, which should contain the main ideas and their parts. When you are preparing your outlines, you should be able to know which are the main topics and which are the subtopics. Okay? Consistent numbering of all the major headings and subheadings. When you are preparing your outline, it should be consistent with your numbering. You don't number from number 1 to number 3, and then the next page you are seeing number 7 to number 10. The next page you're seeing I mean, it's going to be confusing. So you have to maintain a consistent numbering in your outline. Avoidance of single topics under main topics. Single topics under main topics. You have a main topic, treat the main topic. Don't come and give single topics under the main topics. Use of parallel grammatical forms. Avoidance of vagueness. Okay. Paragraph development. A paragraph is a number of related sentences containing one central idea. As you generate ideas, each major idea with its supporting details is built up into a paragraph. So you're writing on how to make a cake. And the first paragraph is the materials you need for the cake. The second paragraph is the preparation of the materials. The third paragraph is how many minutes you have to keep the cake or whatever in the oven. So each paragraph comprises of sentences talking about a particular thing. So when I'm reading paragraph 1, I know I'm reading on how to purchase the materials for cake, and so on and so forth. 4 cardinal rules of writing. There are 4 cardinal rules of writing: unity, coherence, originality of ideas, and mechanical accuracy. The first one, unity. This implies oneness of the subject matter of a piece of writing. This requires the agreement of all your ideas and points. You don't start writing about the economical problem in Nigeria And then in the economical problem of Nigeria, you start writing about problems of marriage. I mean, they don't relate. You are making your reader confused. Okay, because the reader has seen the topic to be economical problems in Nigeria. So the reader has positioned his or her mind to, look up at prices of things going up, going down, and all that. But then in the middle of it, you start talking about problems of marriage. You are contradicting the central message or the central topic of what you want to write. So there has to be unity of topic. The next one is coherence. This requires you to ensure that all ideas, thoughts, and points expressed in your writing are arranged logically in sequential order. Coherence is just understanding, simplicity. Okay, are they well arranged? And to achieve this, you need the use of linking expressions or connectives. Sorry about that, such as but, or, whenever, and all that. So when you are writing, make use of connective words. However, furthermore, such as but, and, to make your word coherent. Okay. Originality of ideas. The content of your text shows how creative you are. In other words, you must not simply reproduce the work of another writer. When you use extracts of other authors' works or ideas, you must give them the credits. When you are writing, try as much as you can to make your writing original. Let it come from you. Let it originally belong to you. But however, if in some cases you want to extract information from someone else's writing, please do ensure, courtesy demands that you give credibility to the owners, the original owners of that reference. Mechanical accuracy. It is a very crucial aspect of your writing, and it must be given good attention. The accuracies of the mechanics of language, such as thesis, concord, spelling, punctuation marks, make your writing beautiful. You should know if your writing starts with present continuous, let it continue with present continuous. If it's in past tense, make sure your tenses, your punctuations, your concord, spelling, and your expressions are all well written. Okay. Types of writing. Writing can be classified into several types. And we have narrative essay, we have descriptive essay, expository essay, and argumentative essay. So we're going to take them one after the other. Okay? The first one, narrative essay. Just like the name says, narration is when you give an account of an event. For instance, you witnessed a robbery, okay? And you are asked to, as an eyewitness, the police tells you, "Madam, what happened? Could you give us a statement of what happened?" You start narrating the time they arrived, the car they arrived, how many there are, how many guns they had, how they shot, who they shot at, and all that. So narrative, they're giving details of an event. So it involves giving a report of what has happened with a view to leaving an impression on your reader. So when you are writing a narrative essay, you have to be deliberate about creating images in the mind of your reader. Okay, a good narrative essay, when you are reading it, it feels like you were present when the event took place. The next one is descriptive essay. In a descriptive writing, you aim at presenting a vivid picture of a person, an object, a scene, or rest of them, to the mind of your reader in such a way that your reader has a good idea of that person, object, or scene. With your power of description, your reader becomes capable of properly appraising whatever you have described. So, descriptive essay is close to narrative, but it's not actually the same. Descriptive essays, you are describing something. Okay, you are giving a vivid picture of something. Maybe write an essay describing a rural area. Okay, so you're describing the kind of houses there, the kind of clothes the children wear, the kind of supports there. So you're being imaginative with your writing. So there are two main types of descriptive essay. There are objective description and subjective description. In objective description, you are concerned with actual details without your sentiment or emotion attached to the writing. That is for what? Objective description. You actually saying the thing the way it is. I mean, this is how it is. If you go there, the children there are poor. They are malnutrition. You are not painting images. You are not trying to, pamper the words or the scenario or getting your emotion attached to it. You're actually giving it the way it is. You also prevent facts without bias. You present facts without bias. For instance, the man was killed. When someone says the man was killed, and somebody else says the man was murdered, I think the man who was murdered is more objective, all right? It's not as emotional as the man was killed. The man was killed, yeah, the man was killed, but the man was murdered gives you this, oh God, maybe he was tied up, maybe he was, so it's more emotional when you say the man was murdered. Expository essay. This is the kind of writing in which you explain a concept, an idea, a process, or a procedure. You encounter the phenomenon of exposition in your day-to-day use of language through what you say to or hear from people, through newspapers or electronic media or church pulpits and mosque. Expository, telling you probably about the Word of God or about a lecture. It's just to expose you to a certain information which you might not have had the knowledge of. Argumentative writing. In this kind of writing, you engage in a reasoned discussion aimed at securing your reader's acceptance of your opinion on an issue. Just like we said earlier in a courtroom, okay, this person, the defendant, says his own side of the story, the accused says their own side of the story. So each of them is trying to win the hearts of the magistrates, okay, if you like. So in argumentative writing, you want to prove a point. You want the person reading to believe what you have to say, beyond every other thing the person knows that this actually is the real fact. So you are, it's a kind of writing that is persuasive to people accepting your own view of something. Summary writing. A summary is a short statement that gives the main information about something without giving all the details. So maybe it's a story of 30 pages and you want to do a summary writing of 5 pages. So you're trying to deduce everything in the 30 pages into 5, trying to compress it and still giving the details or giving exactly what the whole story is all about. So that's for summary writing.